Speaking of the Grizzlies, by the way, we got so locked in on the Olympics last week that we forgot some Grizzlies news.
Uh-oh.
One, Ziaire Williams was traded to the Brooklyn Nets. The other, Luke Kennard, signing a 1-year deal for $11 million. We'll take them in chronological order. Ziaire dealt to Brooklyn. It wasn't a secret, I don't think, that they were trying to move someone from that position, and frankly, I think Jake beat him out.
Yeah, I think this just over time, what has happened is there's seen a lot more progression from Jake than what we had seen from Ziaire. You continue to see the flashes from Ziaire, but never able to see it to be consistent enough.
Right.
And sometimes, I always say sometimes it's good for a player to have a new scene, go somewhere, a fresh start, a new voice, somebody with a different expectation for you. And so I hope for Ziaire it works out for him. But I just thought that, like you said, at some point it was going to change, and Jake had done enough to show that he was moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Luke Kennard coming back 1 year, $11 million. Kind of surprised that it was a deal like that. Thought it might be a multi-year deal, but it works. I think it works out.
Well, sure, it works great in the Grizzlies' favor.
Yeah,
to be able to get him at that number works out fantastic. You got a shooter. You keep your shooter. You need. You love to have. We saw him do some other things for this team, and I think he feels comfortable with, number one, his role on this team, but also with what the team dynamic is. And so I think that it was great for both parties. It was really good for the Grizzlies, though, to be able to get him back, and especially at that number.
I think the Grizzlies from 6 through 12 are much better than they were a year ago.
Yes. I think.
I mean, going into last season, if everything would have been, right, if Adams was playing, if Ja was playing, still 6 through 11 last year is not as good as this year.
And the people that you were depending on even last year will come back this year a year older, a little more experienced. Hopefully, in some cases, a little bit more physically growing, but. I think for these Olympics are big for Santi Aldama and what he's been able to do with Spain and in terms of playing and being integral in terms of and outcomes of games. That's going to be good. And he's one of those players that's on that back end. The summer league for Jake was good. Playing last year, they saw his change. So I think with all of these guys, the only person we just haven't seen in a while is Vince Williams Jr. and because of the injuries to finish out the year, didn't see him, and of course not the summer. But you expect for him to keep growing. So yeah, it's what makes it exciting as to what is to come for this team.
First week of August, I'll ask you this: who's the starting five today?
Oh well, if it's me, then I would say that it's Ja, Dez, Vince, Jaren, and Zach Edey. That would be the if you just say with the guys that we have present day that are on the team, I would go with those five.
And then you're looking at your next five being Marcus, Luke, Santi, Gigi, BC.
Yep.
I guess.
And I think you would definitely try that. I don't know if you will ever have those five guys, but if you I mean, if you had to, then that would be. I mean, I could see that being a next five.
Yeah.
That came into the game, and then after that, that's when Jake and Scottie Pippen Jr. maybe as a third, or I mean, as I said, what they have right now as a third point guard that's on that back end.
Yeah. And then Cam Spencer, get him in there and mop it up, and let's go home with a dub.
Yeah, like exactly. Those would be guys that are utility on the back end, but they I don't the contract's still around.
Yep.
But again, there's depth to the basketball team.